Alright, what's up? I'm at KTR Chandler now, checking out my new setup, trying it for the first time. I have the Locker 2s and the Impact 1.6. Never tried them before. Also, I got the ISHOD WAIRs. They got the curved edges for better flip tricks and the straight edge for better lock-ins. So we're gonna test all this out and see how it goes. I haven't skated for like a month, so I'm going to be just taking it easy and basically doing the regulars routines, nothing groundbreaking today, but my next session will get better. So right now I tried the bushings, and the bushings are the hards. They're GRINDKING's unique brand new type that they built, and they're kind of sticking, but they're brand new, so I'm gonna give it a little while to see if they turn out to work. They're hards, but they feel like they're kind of softer, so I hope they get hard. All right, so I've skated these for 4 days, 3 skate parks, and I think I can come to a pretty solid conclusion. For context, I have skated the version 1.5 Impact deck, and I've also skated the GRINDKING Locker 1s. These are the newer versions, the newest version, breaking new technology. So this is the version 1.6 and GRINDKING Locker 2s. And then also the ISHOD WAIR wheels, which have extra rounded edges and straighter edges on the inside. And so, Impact, I'll make a bold statement here. I don't think I'll ever go back to a standard skateboard deck again. Even compared to the Power Peralta flight decks, I've never skated those, but they get razor tail, and they can break. So, this doesn't get razor tail. I mean, it does technically, but it takes like 5 to 10 times longer, because it has like an extra layer of resistance on it. Also, the material, you don't have to use wax to slide. It already has a slippery surface. And look at this. Even the graphic doesn't erode away. I didn't realize that. That's another thing. I'm fine with this graphic. I like the stencil like this. I don't think they should change this. But if other people do want graphics, you know, that's a benefit. It doesn't wear out. And the other amazing thing, like everything about this deck is awesome. So the twin tail comes in size 8, which most people ride. Comes in 825, I think, as well, which most people ride. And the version 1.5, okay, the version 1.5 I thought was decent. Like, you could compare it to maybe a real deck or something, but, you know, you can get by with it. But the version 1.6, the shape changed. And the shape feels like a real deck. Not the brand real, but like a good deck, like a Baker. And so, it's awesome. Overall, everything's awesome about this skateboard. The only thing I would change is it's not exactly like a real deck. I think they could make it, I don't know how. I can't really explain it, but I suppose it has to do with the responsiveness and the flex of the deck. It's almost spot on, but I think there's room for just a little bit of improvement. And then also, I think I don't know about the tail or something, but when you snap, it doesn't quite feel like a snappy, like poppy pop, like a deck does, like a wood deck does. It kind of has like a muted sound or feel when you pop. So they could improve on that a little bit, but overall, I'm really digging this setup. I mean, this deck. So I think Impact has even better ways to improve, and I think they will. And I think this is the future of skate decks. So I'm sold on Impact. As far as GRINDKING goes, the GRINDKING 2s are definitely better than the GRINDKING 1s. And that has to do with the strength and durability of the materials. They thickened up the materials. I had this part of the kingpin was breaking right here. I broke 2 sets of GRINDKING 1s, and a brand new GRINDKING 1 broke, like almost immediately. That's how bad it was. So the thing I'm concerned about, even though they made it beefier, it's still aluminum, and aluminum is not as strong as steel or titanium. So if you're going to take this thing down El Toro, I would not be confident or comfortable doing that, really, because I would imagine the base plate would probably break, and that's why I suggested to them that they make the base plate out of titanium. Titanium, I think titanium weighs more than aluminum, but if you only have the base plate titanium and the rest aluminum, or the rest, you know, I think there's a steel axle embedded in here, but overall the weight of the truck would still, I think, be as much or less than other trucks. So I don't think it would be a bad thing. Also, where the nuts, the hardwares get tightened, right here, it's still difficult to get in with a tool, so I think they could move that back a little bit. People complained about that from the GRINDKING Locker 1s, but they didn't do anything about that. I wish they would have, but they're probably taking an Apple approach where you just want to incrementally make things better every year so you can get more money. I don't know. So I thought this was a gimmick, and it felt like a gimmick in the beginning, but it kind of works. I like how it locks in. It really helps make it easier to do 50s and a lot of tricks. The only thing is there's so many varieties of sizes and shapes and types of grinds that I think these can get in the way for some of those. And so I think the grooves are pretty mellow, which is good. Don't make the grooves any deeper. I think you should actually make the grooves less mellow, but keep the grooves, but make them mellower. They're almost good. They're almost like perfect. The most important problem I have, well, there's two problems actually. These loosen. They didn't really do any new technology with this, with the end of the axles. The nuts still loosen. You have to tighten the nuts back up. And, 4 skate sessions, my nuts are already, or my axles are already getting ground down, which could make it hard to put the nuts back on. And it makes it sharp and dangerous too. So they need to have some kind of nut cap that helps for primos as well. That's a future technology that really needs to happen. And so the most important issue that I have, which is a serious issue, because the whole point of a truck, other than grinding, is turning. And if you mess up the bushings, you're messing up pretty much all your tricks. Because when you pop, your trucks bend. And if your trucks don't bend the right way when you pop, you can mess up almost any trick. It really makes things inconsistent and difficult to do your skating with. And look at this. That's a brand new hard bushing. The first time I cranked it down and did a few tricks, it just literally almost completely comes out. You can see that? That's bulged out. It's not. These are the hard bushings too. These are supposed to stay rigid. These aren't supposed to go soft. And it doesn't feel very hard. It's supposed to feel hard, like where you can't really turn your trucks very much. And so this has been an issue ever since I started skateboarding. Bushings have been having issues. They're not consistent. No bushing I've ever had has been totally consistent. The best bushings I've ever used are the, I think they're the Dodos, and they have the hard plastic top, and you don't even use a washer. So what I thought was they need to probably thicken this up height-wise. It's only the middle bushing, really. Even though the top bushing is kind of getting messed up, I think that's probably an issue that because the middle bushing is getting messed up, I had to tighten it even more, so it messed up the top bushing. So you might be able to keep the top bushing the same, but the middle bushing definitely needs more substance. And I think the solution for all bushings is to probably put like a Kevlar 3D matrix embedded within the polyurethane so that it keeps its rigidity. I don't know how else to do it. I'm just trying to imagine different ways to do it. But yeah, so these trucks, the turnability is still great. I think they had where you could never get wheel bite on the GRINDKING ones, but now in the GRINDKING 2s, it is possible, but it's very difficult to do, which I think they should keep it where you could never get wheel bite. And it's still extremely difficult. So maybe make that a little more resistant. Make it so like your wheel bite's like touching, but like not to the point where if you were to do a El Toro or something that it's going to stop you from riding away. I think that's the Goldilocks zone is a tiny bit of wheel bite, but not enough to stop you. And so everything else is great. These work fine. It's all good. All right, the wheels. Honestly, I don't feel much of a significant difference. I do feel like I lock in better on 50s. That's great. My Smiths and backside Smiths and stuff, I'm not sure if these help with. These probably don't help too much with that. It may even make it a little bit more difficult to do because you don't have as much angle when you're you're kind of locked in more. But the edges for the flip tricks, I think they kind of help the flip tricks. It's really not a big difference. I really don't think it's much of a big difference. The one concern I have is longevity of the wheel, is them to get easily tapered more downwards. And then the problem with that is, so now not only are they eroding faster, which means you have to buy new wheels faster, you can't flip them. So you can't redo your alignment and rotate the wheel so that they get tapered on the other side, because these are only one-sided wheels. You only can ride them one side, one way. So I think the future of these wheels, I don't know, is you kind of need a whole reimagining of polyurethane maybe, and make it so wheels just last longer. And maybe add a little, like, I don't think they have to be as straight on the back. Like, I think maybe go from middle between this straight and between the amount of curve of a regular wheel, like a Bones wheel. Maybe I think that there's an in-between there. I'm kind of nitpicking, but I think that might be the best. All right, and then stick around because I'm going to be trying out the DKL rubber grip tape. I don't think it's a solution. I think it may be slightly better than regular grip because of the pros and cons, but I think we need a whole reimagining of new grip tape. And I actually was considering doing this myself. I'm not really in the position to create a new business right now, but I think what we need is feel free to have a new business, but there's different polyurethanes like epoxies and stuff that you could use instead of rubber, because rubber has downsides, and it would give you the friction, the stickiness of standard grip without compromising the ability to save your shoes and be less dangerous and unsafe as this scraping grip. And what I was thinking is you could have like a plastic type grip, and it would have a little bit of rubbery give to it, but it wouldn't be rubber. So someone's got to invent that. Otherwise, DKL's got to try something new. I think DKL is the company for that if they would just listen to their customers and do something different. They need to experiment with new materials, because just rubber on its own is not going to cut it. Rubber, the properties of rubber isn't good enough. You need another material, maybe integrated with rubber or maybe completely different than rubber. All right.